For as long as I can remember, there was ice. And ice skaters. This was all I knew, because I spent my childhood in an ice show. This is me at 2 years old, trying very, very hard to fit into the world I lived in. You see, my mom and dad were professional skaters, so I had skates on my feet before I could walk. That's my mom, and that's my dad. And this is my little brother, Ravi. And we would eventually become skaters ourselves, but this is not about us. It's about the world we grew up in. A world of skaters, show people. Beautiful, interesting, eccentric, funny, talented, and artistic people who didn't skate for fame or fortune. They skated because it was a lifestyle, a nomadic, adventuresome way of life that appealed to a very special few. They were the true gypsies, and this is dedicated to all of them. The show we all called home was Holiday on Ice, and there were all types of people in it. There were old people, young people, twin people, tall people, very handsome people, dancing people, jumping people, red people, snow people, and gold people. Funny people, bouncing people, and sewing people. But really, we were one big extended family. We spent 11 months a year with each other, playing, skating, traveling, and basically living together in this little microcosm or cocoon that we called the show. We traveled from city to city on trains. Like a gang of gypsies, we would descend on a town. These train trips were a mixture of gambling, drinking, storytelling, and now and then there was some sleep. I think I learned the fine art of poker on one of these trips, and how to make steak tartare in a bathroom wash bowl. We would stay at the local hotels in each town, which weren't exactly the Ritz-Carlton, but they were clean, and there was always a hotel party. Some people stayed in trailers, which is of course another story entirely. And in their spare time, some people went sightseeing in the various towns to see the local tourist attractions. Some work and a lot of play was more of what this lifestyle was about. And after work, everyone would usually end up at the local tavern for a little food and beverage. Now, because we spent so much time together, sometimes things got a little tense among the skaters. And on an occasion, there would be a barroom brawl.
Suits are picking up the bill. It's alright for them to tag along. It's just one bill they're tagging on. I will find some way to get along. The business suits to the rescue. So nice doing business with you. We really.
All right, maybe I'm stretching the truth just a bit. This isn't a real barroom brawl. It's a scene from a movie the Holiday on Ice cast, management, and crew put together just for the hell of it, called The Missing Briefcase. Obviously, these people had a lot of free time on their hands.
Cannot see from where I'm standing. My friends have passed out on the landing. Good night. Guess what too many has left us high and dry. I'll be feeling down. Too soon to get back in time.
Now keep in mind, this movie was made in 1954, long before X-rated films, but this would-be starlet bared her soul for the movie. And 3 years prior to this movie, there was another movie made called The Trial of Lily Lovelace. Were they bored? Were they creatively frustrated? Or were they just a little wacky? There were good times, but there were also hard times too. On Halloween night in 1963, tragedy struck our show. A gas explosion ripped through the audience during the finale of the show and killed 68 people. Miraculously, there was only one injury among the cast and the crew. I was 10 years old at the time, and the sights and the sounds of that night will probably stay with me forever. Because we were troopers, we pulled together like a family and knew that the show must go on. So 9 days later, we moved on to the next town, and just like always, the show went on. And who better to lift our saddened spirits than the comedians? The comedians were the crowd pleasers, the funny men, the vaudevillians who made the children laugh. I, for one, used to sneak out in the audience with my brother just to watch them.
Stephen Foster at the Hotel Paradise. This is what I told him as I gazed into his eyes. Rooms were made for carpets, towers made for spires, ships were made for cannonade to fire off from inside them. Camptown ladies never sang all they do. No, no, no. Camptown ladies never sang all they do. No, no, no. Stephen Foster at the Hotel Paradise. This is what I told him as I gazed into his eyes. Ships were made for sinking, whiskey made for drinking. If we were made of cellophane, we'd all get stinking drunk much faster. Camptown ladies never sang all that do not. No, no, no.
Now somehow, men dressing up like women seemed to always be funny. But this was something that carried into life off the ice, too. Every year on Halloween, we'd have a party, and the men would all dress up like women. As a little girl, I thought all men did this on Halloween. Now, some of these men were absolutely beautiful, and then there were others. But these were the real women in the show, the chorus. They were young women who came from all parts of the country, who chose a different way of life, and because of it, life would be forever changed.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. For it's hard, you will find, to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams, and life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on its way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you'll derive out of being alive. And here is the best part, you have a head start if you are among
And then there were the men. As a little girl, I had a crush on every one of them because they were
unforgettable. That's what you are.
Unforgettable, though near or far,
like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me never before. Has someone been there?
unforgettable in every way,
and forevermore.
and forevermore.
That's how you'll stay.
That's how you'll stay.
That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable
Thinks that I am unforgettable too.
And then there were the pairs. I used to think for two people to skate together like this, they had to be in love.
No, never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way.
in every way.
And forevermore.
And forevermore,
That's how you'll stay.
that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible
that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
Then there were the female soloists. These were women who competed and trained long hours in local rinks with the dream and the hope of someday joining a show and becoming a star.
You are so beautiful. To me, you are so beautiful. To me, can't you see? Everything I hope for, you're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. devil everything I need. You are so beautiful to me.
There were other acts in the show. Acts who may have originally come from circuses, and acts that did things other than just skate. They were the novelty acts. And of course, there were the jumpers. And people who did all kinds of other amazing things on skates. And of course, what would an ice show be without the animals? And of course, Holiday on Ice was one big extended family. So, there were families who traveled with the show. Children whose parents skated. And then there were also children who were performers. That would be me. I grew up in a family act. And like other family acts, that's where we spent our entire childhood. Kind of a different way to grow up for those of us who experienced it. A show was like a protected cocoon. We were safe, and we were somewhat sheltered from the rest of the world. And backstage was our playground. remember liking rehearsal very much, but I do remember loving the spotlight. Over the years, there was always a family act in Holiday on Ice, and for those of us who spent our wonder years in this world, I think we came away from this experience with a lot more than we ever imagined. And although we don't have a neighborhood we can return to, or for some of us a school, or even a home to go home to, what we have are the faces of the people we grew up with, the people who made lasting impressions on us, and who influenced our lives perhaps as much as our parents did. We as children kind of are the sum total of all of them. And every 5 years or so, we have a reunion. And I get to visit with this big, extended family, and in a way, it's like coming home again. All of the gypsies that I grew up with get together to reminisce, play, have a great time, and even skate. To remember a time when life was a little simpler, and we were all a little younger.
Of my mind, misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind, smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? Could we? Memories may be beautiful, and yet what's too painful to remember? We simply